Tuesday, December 7th, the market went down in FIFA Mobile, leaving some excited, some confused, and the rest devastated. All right, finally he sleeps here. We're going to talk about the market crash that happened on Tuesday. But before you do that, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. Turn on notifications so you never miss anything. And then check out Twitch streams and the website. All right, so what the fuck happened? Amazon Web Services, their East US 1 cloud servers went down on Tuesday, which affected Netflix, Disney Plus, Tinder, Ring, PUBG, League of Legends, and FIFA Mobile, which means people couldn't catch up on last week's episode of Hawkeye on Disney Plus. Their Roombas, they stopped cleaning the floor. They shut down. People couldn't get their Amazon deliveries. Many were even left stranded, wandering around bars looking for their hookup that they didn't get, because of Tinder. And the rest of us playing FIFA Mobile saw either the game shut down and then the market went down and everything started lagging significantly right at the reset. Then everything just went down altogether. Now, we've seen the market go down before, and we've seen everything from no access, but the bot buys everything, which is usually a good thing. And we've seen no access and the bot buys nothing. Or we've seen that the market just says it's unavailable, we can't get in, or maybe some people can get in and they can sell, or there's just nothing happening on. But what happened Tuesday was a new scenario, something we had never seen before. Access to everything went down. Players in the inbox disappeared. Like if you had stuff that was already dismissed, the stuff disappeared. If you had players in the market, all of a sudden it said you have nothing in the market. So if you even had stuff that was timing out during the outage, you never got any dismiss notifications. It just kind of went by. Instead of coming back into your inbox when they timed out, when the market came back on hours later, they were just gone. Poof. Disappeared. By now you should know how the bot market works and understand the whole queue system for buying listings. Well, when the market did come back up a few hours later, the queues were empty, so the bot started buying everything that was in. Suggested prices went through the roof. If you were lucky enough to have players to sell and you got in quick enough when it did come back, you could have cashed in on a starving bot and made hundreds and hundreds of millions of coins. Fan-fucking-tastic. If you had players to sell. But on the flip side, if you had all of your players parked in your inbox, or worse yet, they were in the market set to time out after reset, which we now know was during the outage, you not only missed out, but got completely bent over in the process because as others were cashing in on the empty queues, you realized none of your stuff was timing out. It was just gone. Poof. It disappeared. Some people lost a couple of players, or even a couple of dozen players. Some people lost their entire stock of reserves. If you were one of those guys, in an instant, your desire to ever play FIFA Mobile ever again, well, it was just gone. Poof. Disappeared. EA did put out a couple of tweets referencing the loss of players, but that's about it. Just a couple of tweets. Many gamers opened up support tickets on their lost items. Others, however, since it's the end of the season and with the announcement of Nexon's Korean FIFA Mobile going global, that's what Season 6 is going to be. It's going to be complete with a player-to-player exchange system built upon demand of players in an ever-depreciating progressive OVR environment, and the rumors that, there's not going to be any more resets. It's just going to keep going and going and going, and that means all of the stats will be unlimited, and the game is going to become nothing more than a pack luck gambling engine moving forward. Plus, they announced like a week and a half ago that Legacy was being removed from the game at reset. There's no going to be more any Legacy, which means you won't be able to access your past teams that you have right now when you look at your player profile, because there's no player profile in the Korean version of FIFA Mobile, most of us decided not to even bother opening up support tickets for all this, because our trust at this stage it's just gone. Poof. It's disappeared. So what now? Probably nothing. If you haven't already had your players returned, don't expect anything coming back. For those asking for compensation, what good is that going to do you? Now, here's my argument against blanket compensation. All it does is push the entire playing field forward. It doesn't give you back what you lost. For example, when a big portion of the community couldn't log in a couple of weeks ago during the Facebook crash, people were upset that it put them behind on the icon spotlight, which it did. EA did put out a compensation package for everyone and gave the entire community 8 points for icon spotlight. Fantastic. It gave those that were affected their missing 8 points, but it also gave everyone else 8 additional points. So instead of those being affected are now catching up, it just moved everything forward one day. Nothing changed. The level playing field that people thought that compensation of points was bringing them was just gone. Poof, disappeared. For this crash on Tuesday, if they do decide to give everyone coins to make up for those that lost so many that day, it wouldn't level the playing field. It would lower the value of coins. This basic lack of elementary level of economic understanding has been on full display recently in the beta too. There, in an effort to fix the crashing value and constantly rising gap between what was possible to buy and what was possible to sell in their new player-to-player exchange system, EA started giving away 3 million coins each and every day to everyone playing the beta. Now, instead of lowering the value of the players, it's obviously lowering the value of the coins. The value of players in demand is rising so high that they are just completely out of reach to nearly everyone now. Everyone except for those that watched my Make Millions in the Beta, that video that came out a couple of weeks ago before all this happened. If they watched that when it came out and invested in the stuff that I said to invest, then sold that stock back to other players before the demand over supply split went well beyond the threshold of availability. Now those guys are left with hundreds of millions of coins in the beta and no players to buy because the fixed price ranges are making it so that they're only able to trade with each other. The advantage of having a ton of coins in the beta, it's just gone. Poof. Disappeared. So giving us blanket compensation for lost players would basically do the same thing here, just on a smaller scale in preseason freeze. So don't expect compensation. If you do get it, though, don't expect it to make a bit of fucking difference. It's not. In fact, it's probably going to be so ridiculously small that it's going to be nothing more than just something to piss you off even more than you already are at this entire situation. At least, this is the only silver lining in the entire thing. At least this is the last time we'll ever have to deal with a crash stealing our players. It'll also, though, be the last time we ever have to deal with a crash that changes the value of players to our advantage. You know, once the new season begins and the new player-to-player exchange system is put in place instead of a bot market, you'll never have to worry about any of it ever again. No more quick selling, no more earning players in events that you can then sell, because there will be no demand, so no one is going to buy the player that you have. If we even have events like we do now, because we don't even know if the events are going to be the same. If we're basing this off of the Nexon model, are they just going to go do away with the events as we know it? Building theme squads will be a thing of the past. Don't worry about any of that anymore. You're not going to be able to buy the players. And with the upgrade limits and the training limits, doesn't really matter anyway. I mean, your players, they're not even going to have any value at all unless they're the newest, best, highest OVR, and you packed them with a combination of FIFA points and an extreme amount of luck. And even then, their value will only be determined by both demand and the fixed value window that EA is going to set for all players. Unless they manufacture a demand for everything, like all OVRs in the game, and positions and leagues and everything, through some kind of ever-present squad building challenges and lineup requirements and new events, and they make sure the new season actually has events. Unless they do all that, not just like some shitty trade-in function that like they have in the Asian release, you can expect player values and the ability for the casual player to build a decent competitive squad next year to be just gone. Poof. Disappeared.